All right, folks. So today, I don't know why I always do this. Like I don't get like I get really excited or something. But I've been looking on the internet, and today is May 4th, 2022, and as of today, there's not even one Saran or Segway, either was it 160 or 260 or 280, whatever, available. They are all completely out of stock. Segway is out of stock. Saran is out of stock. Everybody's out of stock. Nobody has any inventories whatsoever. Why was I looking at Saran? Honestly, if you want to just build a bike and hold on to it for 2, 3, 4 years or 1 year, then sell it, you'll do stealth bomber and you're gonna be totally cool. Um, Now, if you want to buy a bike and then do upgrades for endless amount of time, then you will go Saran. Now, when I got into building my bike, Saran wasn't so popular. Maybe I wasn't really watching too many videos. I don't know, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. Now, thanks to COVID, I think those 2 years or the entire year that we were on a lockdown, lots of people went to a different alternative to either travel or to spend their time or to be outside without any contact. And the easiest way to do that was by actually, riding a bike like Saran. Uh, if you call it a bike, I mean, there's actually a kit for pedals for Saran, which is pretty cool because here in New York, I experienced something yesterday when I took the ferry, when I took the bike. A guy came in with a moped, um, electric, 72 volt. He had like three different batteries. He had a 72 and 13 amp hour battery. That's the only one that I saw. But he got and said like, oh yeah, that's a 40. Like, come on, man, it can't be that small, that big. Um, so it was 72, 13 amp, and the other one he says was big, huge, but I can't verify it because I can't see it. But I don't think his system was that big. I believe the battery that he was holding to, it was 13 amp hour, which is nothing for 72 volt. The other one he says was also 72, so his system was 72. Anyway, long story short, right? Just not to take too much time. So he got on a ferry, and funny thing is, the armed security guard came in, and some sort of Department of Transportation supervisor came in because that's who controls the ferry. Department of Transportation here in New York, and says, "Look, today you're not going to be able to, take the ride with the ferry. You can go to different ferry. There are different ferries that you have to pay like $2, and you can hop on with a scooter, bike, moped, whatever it is." So they had a problem because they said if you had pedals, it would not be a problem. Then the conversation went into a little bit deeper, right? So like the Department of Transportation supervisor, boom, right away, she's like, you got to take different ferry. That was like his second thought, right? Or second word came out of his mouth. Then the armed security guard showed up, right? Like he was about to fucking suplex him and again give him a takedown or have him tap out on a fucking floor mat. Like the security guard was kind of like way too aggressive, but thank God it didn't go any further than that. So the discussion right after that, when an armed security guard came in, which was actually cool and decent, was the technicalities to the bike. So they asked him like, well, how big is the motor, right? Now he told me it was a 1500 watt motor in the back, brushless. So he told him it was 750, right? Because you will fall in under category class 2 on a bike, 750 and below, something like that, right? Then they ask him, well, how fast does it go? He says, yeah, I'll go top speed is 25 miles an hour, which the system that he has I believe that the maximum he can probably do for very short time is maybe 30, 35 miles an hour. But he said 25 for the legality of the situation, because again, that says you can't take the ferry. But now the guy knew what he was talking about. I believe that he said at one point that his bike was once seized, or he was summoned by the New York City Police Department. So he kind of fought the situation, and he won it. So he had some knowledge under his belt, and the discussion continued. And it's just like, look, all you got to do is just install pedals, and you're gonna be totally fine. This and that, blah blah blah. So the entire issue and situation is because he did not have pedals. Okay, if he had pedals, he would not have even a discussion with these guys, right? So it's kind of funny. However, he had the pedals on the moped, but he removed it, right? Because I guess it was just annoying, whatever it is. I don't believe him. I don't think he did have the pedals. I think there was a option for that moped to have pedal, and this moped is pretty wide and pretty low, and also pretty heavy. Those pedals would have to be really, really short. So saying that, if I was my plan is there's a plan, right? So with my bike, the plan is I just got my battery right now, which is a big battery. There's no way that I would get the price that I pay for it. I don't even want to sell it. I would rather see if the battery starts going or something like that, to see if I can put different BMS in it, higher BMS. I'm not sure if the battery will be capable of discharging at 150 amps. So it's kind of like taking a risk, because if your battery starts overheating, no battery likes heat, anything like that. But the goal is, so I do have the bike built, and everything is built, everything is perfect, and I do have the frame, right? So I kind of modify the frame to squeeze in the battery. I kind of like took out the bottom of the battery, and did what I had to do, which worked great, and I'm extremely happy. Don't get me wrong, but here is the thing. Here's the but, right? There's always a but, right? This is school, work, interview, discussion, negotiation. There's always a but. So I definitely would want to get, let's say my battery goes in 4 years, right? 3 years, whatever it is, right? Let's say it goes. Let's say now instead of getting 44 miles, I get 20 miles. I can still mess around with it and all that, and do the 20 miles. It kind of sucks, but I don't think it's going to have a big problem like that, right? I think these batteries are excellent, and maybe I'll see. I mean, there's always a decrease in mileage, probably like every year. So I think like this year I'm going to lose like probably 3% or so, if not 5. But let's just say that we're going to lose very, very, very minimum, right? So we have that. So what I want to really to do is shoot over to 94 volt battery, right? So was it 94 or 96, something like that. So the whole thing is this 94, we gotta call it 94 volt battery. They all come with like 150 amps, and they're not any less than 60 amp hours, right? So you have almost same size battery, right? Almost same size battery, but the power is ridiculous, right? Because it's I think top charge is 103 volts, which is ridiculous, right? And also you have more amp hours, right? You have more distance. On top of that, you also have higher top speed. Now, the cons to it is that the system will not overheat, but the system is going to heat up much faster, and yeah, it could possibly overheat. That might be one of the problems, right? But that's how you kind of get the top speed or your top speed higher without changing the entire system, right? So you are running, let's say, the the 50 amp on a controller, right, on the battery. Well, no, I'm sorry, that's a different battery now. So I can put a controller 100 amps. So what I would do is I would probably keep it at 100 instead of 150 like the battery takes. And with lower amps, I can actually operate with less heat at same speed. Well, I'm sorry, same speed, not what I have right now. Higher speeds, let's say, 65, 75 miles an hour, right? But I'm operating at lower temperatures because I'm not pushing so much amps, because the amps make the battery and the controller and also the motor to heat up. So that's the issue, that's the situation here, right? So the goal eventually is to again modify the what do you call it? The frame. And once you modify the frame, I'm looking to modify the frame so I can put a bigger battery. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to be the frame is going to have to be open on the top and kind of weld walls around it on the top. So it's going to be like kind of like a kind of like a gas tank on the top, right? It's going to probably come up about 4 to 5 inches higher, and we'll do spot welding and all things like that, and we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? And we'll try to do it that way, and then we will reinforce the frame, and we'll be able to squeeze in a bigger battery with more voltage, more power. So that's my plan. However, if I was to, let's say, do this all over again, right? I would go with definitely used Sur-Ron. Now, I don't care how badly it's used, as long the motor is in a great shape or condition. Since you can build off of that platform so much, you can do it with lots of bikes, but here you can change the controller, you can change the battery very easily. You don't have to it's always like when you buy a car, you want to see if you have a great service for the car, right? Let's say you buy a car in a foreign country, right? Or you buy a car here, you bring it to a foreign country, right? You want to see if you're going to be able to service that car in the country you're importing or exporting to. Same thing with the bike, right? So my bike cannot be serviced. I have to service my bike. If I want some sort of battery or or a motor or anything like that, I have to kind of be considered and be aware that I'm not going to have lots of support, so I have to do pretty much everything myself, and that's kind of like a bummer because you can fucking jerk off, fucking dick. So damn, excuse me, because there's actually shit, I might get pulled over. I hope I won't, because there's a couple of me here. They already got him pulled over. Yeah, they got him pulled over. Yeah, he getting a ticket for using a freaking emergency safety lane. But anyway, all right. So it is what it is. So here's the thing. I'm kind of losing my thought, right? So again, you gotta see what support you're gonna get on the bike, right? And Sur-Ron has probably the best support that you can ever get, right? So exchanging batteries is easy, putting a pedal kit is easy, and the biggest upgrade that you could ever do is pretty much the brackets, right? the sprocket, yeah, the sprockets, right? So you can change your rear sprocket, and you can get crazy torque, or you can get crazy speed. How does that work, right? So if you put a very big sprocket in the back, right? So it's going to give you a crazy torque, okay? But also with crazy torque, you get high temperatures, right? So it's kind of crazy. You have to really do the ratio the right way. Now once you do that, right? Let's say you go to a small sprocket in the back, right, on a wheel. That will give you more speed on the Sur-Ron. You're not going to have a torque, but you're going to have top end speed. So your takeoff is not going to be as strong as if it would if you had a sprocket, let's say 60 tooth. So that's a huge improvement. It's a huge upgrade. There's always sweet middle. You can go 60 tooth, you can go 40 tooth, and see how it works. The beautiful thing is that you can do it at the comfort of your house. Change the sprocket in the back, and say, okay, so my torque is pretty decent, and my top speed is no longer 49 because manufacturer claims that, and I believe it, that it top speed will be 47 miles an hour, which is actually pretty decent. You don't need to go more than that. So if now your torque is still good, you're satisfied with the torque, but now your top end, let's say, it's no longer 47, now it's 57. That's awesome. You know what I mean? So yeah, if I was to do this all over again, I would go with the used Sur-Ron. Now, why I wouldn't go with a new Sur-Ron? I would actually even go with a frame only. Like no electronics, just a frame. But nobody will sell that. Maybe Facebook will have it out there. But other than that, nobody's going to do it. But yeah, the whole thing is it defeats the point of buying a brand new Sur-Ron or used Sur-Ron, okay? Because you're going to replace everything regardless. Anyway, right? So if you have a used Sur-Ron, it's not a problem. You can replace the controller, in some time. You don't have to change the whole thing because obviously, all these parts are going to cost you money. So instead of, let's say, putting out $3,400 for the Sur-Ron, right, brand new, let's say you're paying $1,000, and you get the wheels, you get the frame, and that's about it, nothing else, right? So it kind of makes sense. But now you can buy a brand new Sur-Ron if you're not planning to do any modifications for next year or two. You can stick with the 47 miles. But of course, the first thing you're gonna want to do is change the battery. I was lucky enough to make a decision. Well, few subscribers that helped me out. I said, let me go with 60. So I was looking at 60-volt battery, 60 amp hours, which was pretty cool. But then, real estate students is like, dude, if you go out, all in, get the 72-volt battery and call it a day. And I'm very glad that I did, because the 60 wouldn't be the same, So I'm happy that I did with a 72. And there's no way, I'm going to get rid of my battery. I'm going to ride this battery until it dies. We're in the season right now, so we're going to abuse it. I don't babysit it. I, full throttle all the time. I do my 50 miles an hour regardless. Now, I can only do that in my neighborhood, like when I get to Staten Island, because, here around, 5 boroughs, man, I'll do 35. On the bridge, I'll do, my 45. I won't even do 50, 55, and that's very dangerous. Like in the morning, most of the times I'll be able to full throttle the bike because there's no electric bike riders and no bicycle riders whatsoever. By coming back, after work, 4 o'clock, everybody's on their bike, and everybody is just, out crossing the bridge, so you can't really throttle that much. I stay with a reasonable speed, 25 miles an hour, 20, so I can brake and call it a day. And in regards to my brakes, I can't tell how low I am on my brake shoes. They're not making any squeaking noise. They're not making any noise whatsoever. They're not grinding. They're not doing anything. It's just I took a look because I was cleaning the kind of like drums and things like that. Just do basic maintenance. And so I have like a little bit over 400 miles that I did on this 72 volt system, right? Because the other 1,000 that I did was on a 48 volt system, so I really don't count that. That was all testing the equipment. Now with the 72, I did a little bit over 400 miles, and it's so far error-free, problem-free. Love it. Knock it off the wood, right? But like I said, I was cleaning my brakes. And by the way, folks, when you clean your brakes, your shoe brakes on your bike, I suggest that you buy a regular can of spray for brake cleaner from AutoZone, Pet Boys, whoever is your local guy, and just spray from the top of the cylinder all the way down. Everything go right through. Beautiful, nice grip again, right? Not that I lost my grip, but I want to have perfection again. So I don't know how far or how low my shoes are. It seems like basic, simple procedure. Take out the shoes and put it back in with a squeeze-in spring bracket, whatever you call it, and you're done. So just make sure when you do your brakes, don't take out the shoes yet. Just push the what the hell are they called? Push the drums in. The hydraulic brakes, they keep closing and closing and closing. So you take your old shoes, right? You want to put the new ones, you don't have enough space. So what happens is you gotta push the drums out. So do that while you have the old shoes, so you don't scratch your drums inside or your cylinders. That's what they are, hydraulic cylinders. So you don't scratch them, and they're pretty good shape. So take the screwdriver, push them out where the shoes are in there. Take out the shoes. Now when you apply or you put your new shoes, it's going to have exact same gap it had before. Don't squeeze it because you're gonna be screwed. And then pretty much install the caliper, and then keep the caliper nice and loose. Squeeze the brakes to center out the shoes in line with the shoes and the disc and the caliper. Everything realigns when you squeeze your leveler, and then pretty much when you do, you tighten everything up and you're done. But I believe not this week, maybe. Alright, so next week I'm going to order the shoes, right? So they're about $26 metallic. Why do I want to do metallic? I don't know what I have right now, and I love the brakes that I have right now, right? I might look it up and see what it is, if it's a Carnivore, or is it organic, or is it some other type of material that is in the shoes. But it's extremely quiet, extremely strong, and I love it. Maybe because it's a four piston brake system, right? I'm hoping. But so next week I'll order the brake shoes, right? Metallic. It's going to eat my disc, but regardless, the disc is going to go regardless. It's just gonna go faster, but I just hate the idea of changing my shoe brakes all the time. And I'm not really heavy dude. I'm not like heavy dude I'm not heavy on the brakes, so I brake way ahead. I don't accelerate towards the red light and then slam on my brakes. That's just dumb, right? So that's that. And I'm hoping that this week I'm going to be able to order, probably this weekend, I hope. I really do. Order a halfway or half face helmet from motocross style, not a full face. So I hope we'll be able to order that. The best news so far that I have, my daughter has Hero 4 Silver, I believe. I don't know if it has a screen, if it doesn't, right? So I think black has a screen, silver doesn't. But it's a Hero 4, which everybody knows has a great quality video, 4K. That was the first camera that came out with 4K. If it has a screen, it has a screen. If it doesn't, I don't care. But it was never used, not even once. Okay. the first 4K. The reviews show that it's the best camera that came out with the best voice quality. Of course, then I will be able to get external mic, plug it into USB, hook it up to my helmet, and keep it that way. So I'll be able to do vlogging for you guys. Again, you know, I know lots of YouTubers to go out for group rides. I don't. I'm a lonely dude. I like to not get in trouble because somebody else, you know, somebody else is being irresponsible and misbehaving. So I stick, you know, by myself most of the times. But when I get all the gear and everything working, everything organized, right? I gotta go into a GoPro application. I might do it on my Mac. I might do it on my Windows PC. I might do it, you know, on either computer. I have to pay the membership, which is bullshit. It's like $10 a year, whatever, so I can do full videos. And then we'll start doing some editing, some vlogging, some things like that for you guys. You know, so that hopefully the channel can grow. And you know, I like when I have lots of subscribers. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like everybody's listening to me. It makes me feel like people are getting the knowledge. It makes me feel just great. You know, it feels like I have a nice little class that I have, you know, class where I'm the teacher, you guys the students, and you know, you guys listen and learn and explore and experience. I mean, you know, it's an awesome feeling. You know, it's a really awesome feeling. It ain't. There's no money in it, so it's not the money, it's not the views, it's not the hours, it's none like that. It's just a feeling that you are needed, that you belong to some sort of